Okay, hi folks out there in tabletop sports land. This is Tenacious Earl with the second part of this second season tutorial playthrough project video, whatever you want to call it, for the Nine Nations Football League. First, what I wanted to do is kind of give you an idea of how I notate things. I'll always on the left margin put what the drive is, just so I can kind of keep track. Like, this is Chicago's first drive here. After the next drive starts, it will probably be the Titans. I'll put TEN 1, and so that'll be their first drive. And that's how I just kind of like keep track of things that way. I put the first column being the time, counting down. I put the down and distance, and I put the yardage with a dot either in front of the yardage, which means in the offense's territory, in the possessing team's territory on their side of the 50, or after, like this right down through here where they're in the opponent's territory. And the 50, I usually put a dot on both sides just because it's the 50. Then here is my column to denote play type. And I just really have a few different notations for this. Anytime it's a pass, I circle it, or a pass that is completed. I put a P and I circle it. That just kind of gives me a really quick idea of, because when I'm compiling things later, I'm just going to go down through. I'm going to say, oh, Meredith, this is a pass. I'm going to put it in Meredith's column, and I'm going to write a 7. And then I know that, it's just much easier for me to distinguish these things. And actually, when you do it on the fly, you can really go, oh, that's there's 7. He went 7 for 8. I mean, that's a real quick way to see that. Cutler did. So the P with a circle is always the pass completed. An X is an incompletion. An R without a circle is a running play. Could be running back, could be jet sweep with the wide receiver, could be quarterback draw, whatever. I pretty much, if it's a running play, just to try and kind of like, because I'll show you in a while, once we get to the end of this quarter, I'll show you some of my tactics for tabulating stats, because in this game, as I've mentioned in the previous video, it does make a difference in terms of the usage, the number of carries or the number of receptions a wide receiver has had. And so if you you want to keep track of that, if not just at the end of the quarter, even through the quarter, because you want to be accurate. Okay, and then whoever the player is, I would never put the quarterback unless he's running. So for a run, it would be the player who is running it, and I guess in theory, who, I don't know, I guess it'd be who ultimately gets the gained yardage in the stats, because you can have trick plays or rare plays that it can be sort of different. Maybe it's your flea flicker, or your what do you call that guy, end around, think double reverse kind of thing, where it gets handed off a couple different times. It would be ultimately be the guy who's going to be credited with the yardage. For the pass completed, it would be the receiver who is going to get credited with the yardage. I do that here. Now, a couple of other notations that you don't see here because we haven't hit them yet. For a sack, I put an S with a diamond around it, so it's pretty clearly it's a completely different item. And with a sack, I would put the I would use the gray D20 result and use the on the charts at the very top. You'll see this in a little bit. There are selectors that give you either sacks or interceptions. I take that result and award the sack to whoever is listed as the person who should get the sack based on that result. And then the other one is the I with a square around it, and that is interception. And again, that would be, I would put the interceptor here. Okay, and then with sack, I would put the yardage lost on the sack. With an interception, I would put the yardage downfield that was gained by the throw from the offensive team until the interception. So it would be the interception, the person who intercepted it. And so most of your interceptions, if not all of them, will be generated off of the Y chart. And so that Y chart will usually indicate which position should be awarded the interception. And then, like I said, the yardage would be how far, like if it's a medium pass, it might be like 20 yards downfield it was intercepted. So then from that point, I'll just mention it here because I would put from this point forward, if there's any return yardage on the interception would go over here. The other things that go over here, if there's a fumble, I use like greater than, so in this case, less than first and greater than over here to denote a fumble. If it's a fumble lost, I usually put a underscore underneath it or a line underneath it. But I'll usually say fumbled, and then either it'd be recovered by offense, recovered by defense. I'm not usually too worried about who did the recovery or who, like the player. I'm just usually worried about possession. And then from there can also be yardage from that. Other things I would put here would be penalties. I use, as you can see right down here, I use just a standard bracket like this. For the penalties, it's easy for me to see. I would even do that for penalty declined, even though it's not going to enumerate in the statistics. I kind of like to have that information there, but I will usually put the penalty, the team, so either offense or defense, or maybe kicking team or return team if it's on a kicking play. I put the infraction and then the yardage. So I will show you that a little later once that happens. But for instance, it could be the bracket, pen, offense, hold, 10. Okay, and that's how I would do it. And obviously you're not just going to automatically put 10 if you have to do half the distance. You would put only, you put the amount that they were penalized based on that. And then finally over here is my notes for first downs. So I just put squares for first downs. There's three ways you can get a first down. R is for run. This is my notation. R for run, P for pass, and then an X is for penalty. So first down by penalty. I don't believe even the NFL counts first downs gained by penalty in first down stats. But in this case, like Chicago, they got 5 first downs in that first drive. And you do award a first down on a touchdown. Also, if it were 3rd and 4, you would award a third down conversion on that. So, and because this is a tutorial playthrough, I'm going to be pretty detailed with the way I handle stats as well. At the end of the game, I'm going to try and give you an idea of how I do this. So I'm going to try and show you as much as I can of what's going on the sheets. I know that when I'm using my camera, the resolution a little grainy, so I tried actually uploading images of these things. Now, on the right, you can see, that's right over, let's see, right over down here is the replay second season play calling chart that I used. It's free on their website, so I don't think there's anything that's an issue there. I'm hoping that if I just show a couple of the teams and their ratings, that it's not going to be a real big deal. But I'm also, it helps if you guys can see what I'm talking about when I'm saying, oh, this guy is a 0 pass. But you can actually see it there much more clearly if I do this. So I'm not going to really show you much of the game book because, again, it's a proprietary game. Would love to see everybody who finds this game interesting, thinks that they would have interest in it, to go out and purchase it. There are other, later in another video, I'll show you some game parts and things that I don't usually use, but you may find interesting. But at the moment, I just want to kind of get going with this game and just continue to give you an idea of how the gameplay goes in this. So we just had Josh Bellamy get a 9-yard touchdown pass from Jay Cutler. Now that's his first pass catch. He is rated for 2 catches in a game. So if for R in the R column, so if he gets another pass reception, then we have to block him out for R. So, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the kickoff. And I only need the black and the white dice for this. As you can see actually we need to be on the other screen. There we go. So as you can see at the bottom, Chicago's place kicker is Connor Barth. So I'm going to write this down. So Connor Barth. And the roll is 34. I'll apologize now. I've got these play sheets up and it makes it a little bit tougher to see. So the base yardage is 62. Barth is an A kickoff guy, which means you add 6 to the base. So 34 is 62. And 6 is 68. So 68-yard kick. So that's 3 yards deep in the end zone. And we're going to let Mariani, he's going to take the touchback for Tennessee. And so this will be Tennessee's first possession. 9:30, no time elapsed on a touchback. 1st and 10 from Tennessee's 25. And now we'll switch over to this view. And let's get going. Also at the bottom of the screen, you will see the cards that I created. This will help you determine, you'll be able to see better who is the player that will be checked if it's in that list. So 15 is an inside run with 10 being a safe defense. If you look over on the right on that play chart, so it's the 15, black and white, and then the black D20. So again, what I do is I go to my chart book and I get the exact defense and play combination that I need before I do anything else. So that way I put it down. Now it's going to be 4. DeMarco Murray is always the running back. And for an inside run, you're not going to use Kendall Wright. There's nobody else you're going to use there. So now you also know that for 4, it will be Andre Johnson in that EA position. So, but you also get Anthony Fasano on the other side. So you get a little help there. Let's see. So it's going to be DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray with the run. And it's 26. So in the book for the column 1, or for first quarter column, 26 is, so again, I'm not going to show too much of the book, but sometimes you will get one of these where it says C or J. So the dot, it's an or almost all the time. So in those cases in the book, if it says C or J, it's you either need one or the other. So, or either of them run 0. So if you go to, now this is again a safe defense. If you go to the Chicago page, C is Harold Jones-Cordy. He is a 1 run, as you can see there at the top. So that means that he is not run 0, but now because it's or, you need to check J. And the J run defense, oh no, this is a safe defense. So Mitch Unrain only played about a third of the game. And so we go to Willie Young in pass, safe, or blitz. And as you can see there, Willie Young is a 0. So there is a 0 between C and J. So that means it will be an XR run. So this is the first time we go to the other side of the page. It will say XR, and this also says out of bounds. So the run will end up going out of bounds. So this gives you I will put the book up here. Say inside run, you see XR results. So you go to that column, you re-roll your black and your white dice. At this point, I'm going to write down on my sheet R Murray because it's invariably going to be a Murray run. And then we roll. And it's a 41, and the 41 asks if end A, which in this case it is Andre Johnson, is he a run 0? And he is, so swamped at the line, a 3-yard gain. So it could have been a longer gain, but instead it's only going to be 3 for Murray. And because of the formation using Andre Johnson in this case, it's a shorter run. So that brings it, and it's out of bounds. So that's going to make it 9:05 because we run 25 seconds off, 2nd and 7 from the 28. Also, some people would just blindly go ahead and use the what I'm using is the gray die to figure out who's going to get either the run or the pass reception. I prefer it this way, so I feel like this is more realistic. So 46 on the play calling chart is short pass, and 19 is a blitz. And we're going to stay with the base sets, formation sets, and it's a 2, so we can throw to Matthews, we can throw to Sharp, Walker. You just have to make the decision. A lot of times I'll start with the guys with the heaviest pass ratings, so I'm going to go with Rashard Matthews here as the target for this one. 41 is quarterback Marcus Mariota, a 0. He is not, so it's going to bring up the XS. So that's another potential long gain. So we re-roll and again, we keep in mind what is on the green die there, the 2. I'm going to move my camera just a bit so you can see it there for sure. So it gets to 45. So is SB, so in this case on 2, SB is Kendall Wright. Is he a 0 pass? Kendall Wright, as you can see, is not a 0 pass. So he angles past the defensive back for a 7-yard gain, whereas it would have only been worth 1 die if it had been. So 7, so that's going to actually lead to the first down. So that's a pass completed to Matthews for 7, and we mark it down as a passing first down, and it's 35 seconds off, so 8:30. 1st and 10 from the 35, Tennessee. See, once you get in a groove, things just kind of like roll along here. Now 56 is going to be a short pass again. This time against a run defense, so they're going to catch him in a defense that's not optimal for the play call, and we'll see how that works out for the Titans here. So it's going to be 5. 5, let's target Delaney Walker with this short pass. And it's a 12. So this goes off of Mariota's completion percentage, which is an A. Completion percentage rating. So 12 with A is going to be half Q. So this is where I use the gray die, 17. And short is going to be Douglas. He is out. So what do I do in this case? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next guy up the list. So it is right on this play. He is not. Is Sharp. He's not. Murray. Murray's the next one. So we're going to go with DeMarco Murray getting half Q. Q for Mariota, as you can see in the column, is 12. So it's going to be a 6-yard gain for DeMarco Murray. So that gets us to 7:55. 2nd and 4 from the 41. Uh, 36 is an outside run against a safe defense. So a safe defense will be one that's kind of decent for all, but not great for any. And so it's going to be, so we could use, let's see, who could we use? Outside run, it's pretty much only DeMarco Murray, you do get some outside run ratings for other guys sometimes on these team sheets, but in this case we don't. Like on Chicago's, we have Bellamy with a quad A, but it'll be Murray with a 46. That's going to be an unusual result. Shake it up again. 34 is 4 yards and then a running back injury. So Murray, 4. Okay, and so then it goes injury to the running back. Now, what we do here is we go into the book and the team sheets, the list of team sheets. It's or your PDF you want to use, and you can look up Tennessee. And what you can do for a lot of injuries in this case, like for here, you can see Tennessee. DeMarco Murray is listed here on this list. If they're on the list, then they are very unlikely to get injured. So what you can do is you can roll 1d6, and the most they would be out for is the rest of the quarter. That's if it's a 6. Instead, this is a 2. So if it's 1 to 4, the player stays in the game. If it's 5, they're out for the rest of the series. 6 out for the rest of the period. So in this case, there's no injury to Murray. Basically shakes it off. And we will... What I'll do is I'm going to mark it down here as a single play injury. And we're also going to make it where the clock stops, 7:45. And that is a first down, by the way, by the run. 4-yard gain for Murray. It was 2nd and 4, so it's 1st and 10 on the 45 of Tennessee. We're almost at that point where it crosses over, and any of the plus and minus designations would have their effect. So for this play, we're going to assume Derrick Henry is in for DeMarco Murray. It's going to be 62, which is a medium pass against a safe defense. And it's going to be set 1, save. It'll be Henry instead of Murray. And so we will throw one to Delaney Walker here. 34 asks, is tackle a 0 pass? That's Taylor Lewan. He is a 2, so that's not the... It's going to be no. So under the no column, quarterback connects with the receiver for R yards. So that's a pass completed to Delaney Walker for 12 yards and a first down. So the Titans on the move, looking to respond to Chicago's opening touchdown, 7-10. 1st and 10. So we had 12. So it takes us from the 45 over to the 45. Plus 2 more, so the 43 of Chicago. Mariota perfect on the drive so far. 25 yards passing on 3 for 3. Okay, so 31 is outside run. And against a blitz. Now Murray will be back in the game here. So the other thing we could do is we could use Marcus Mariota on the run. He's allowed to run twice per half. Let's go ahead and give him let's do a quarterback sweep with Mariota. See if his quad A will help here. But it'll be 56. So is H a run 2. So this could be big, because that quad A can also come into play on the X columns. So let's see. Is H a run 2? What do we have for H? H is going to be on a blitz defense. It's going to be Leonard Floyd, and he is a 0. So this is going to go to XR on the no column. And now, if it's in the 60s, this is going to go straight to the go column, which are the big games. Let's see what happens here. Okay, it's 44. Are any of the Chicago defensive backs, A, B, C, or D, run 2? You got Porter's a 0, Adrian Amos. Since we're on the Chicago side of the 50, Adrian Amos is a run 2. You can see he's a 1+. That makes him a 2. So he's met by the defensive back after 1 die worth of yardage. So we roll 1 die. It's a 2-yard gain. So what could have been Mariota, just barely a shoestring tackle by Amos, gets him at a 2-yard gain. Okay, down to 6:35, 2nd and 8 from the 41. So this game can have its share of ups and downs. You get some cases like that where it looks like you have a really good chance maybe at breaking one, and one good rating gets it. So 25 is an outside run again, and this time against a pass defense. So let's see if they can get something out of this. It'll be Murray, and it's offensive set 6. 41 is NB, a run 0. So in this case, it's 6. It's going to be Tajay Sharp. So that means NB is a run 0. So it's missed block, and he gets no gain. So run, Murray, 0. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 from the 41. So now we're going to use the long yard formation at the bottom of that little sheet. And with a 3rd and 8, that is going to be an outside run as well, 14. And I think in this case, yeah, we're gonna have to stick with it, I think. So 8 is gonna be a safe defense. Outside run safe. And Murray's gonna get in there and run it again. Hate to use up both of Mariota's outside runs in one drive. So. Okay, 63. Is E a run 2? So this is a safe defense. E for the whole game is going to be Devontae Bosby. He's actually a defensive back. You can see him listed under the reserves under D. But he is a run 0, so he's not a run 2. So then it asks, is NC, who is Walker, is he a run 0? He's a run 1, so no. So it's going to be an 8-yard gain, and guess what? They're going to get the first down. I can show you the book here. It's this guy right there. Otherwise, 8 yards, and it's a first down. Murray does break it to the outside, cuts through the defense. A good block by Walker on the edge, gets him out there, and they get a running first down. And it's going to keep the drive alive at the 33 of Chicago. .5:25 left in the first quarter. Okay, screen pass is 41 against blitz. So screen pass and blitz, that can be a toxic combination for a defense. And we're going to throw to Murray here on a screen. Try to. Okay, 42 is tackle B 2 pass. Jack Conklin, tackle B is a 2 pass, so it goes to XS. So let's see where it goes from here. The big gains often come off of the quarterback's X rating, just in case you know. And 66 is X a 0 or greater. Mariota's a 6, so that is a yes. It's going to be to go. This could be a touchdown, depending on the roll here. Let's see what brings up for Murray. 32. 29 plus 1 die. 29. So 33. That means if it's 4 or greater, it's 1. So that's going to be a 30-yard gain for Murray on the screen pass. They break it. Murray getting a big workout. We're going to bring in Henry for the next play, but that's a passing first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. 4:50 left. 2 big drives here one for each team to start, and Henry will be in. And I'm going to go to, well, it's going to be a short pass. And they're going to pick a pass defense. So they sniff it out. And the short pass is, so we're going to say it was a short yardage offense. We're going to throw it at Matthews. 34. His tackle be a 2 pass. Remember, it's Conklin. It's 2. Yes, it's XS. This is probably going to be a score. But it could be incomplete depending on whether or not the defense has a rating that will match it up. 12. Are any of I, J, or K, which are the linemen, a 2 pass? I is Willie Young. He is a 2 pass, so that is incomplete. So close. Nobody else was 2. So if it had not been Willie Young, if they had been on a run defense, it would have been Mitch Unrain, and he is rated 0, and that would have gone for a touchdown. But instead, it's 4:40. 2nd and goal from the 3. So the pass rush just gets a little too intense for Mariota, and he has to bail on the route. Doesn't get off a good pass. Okay, 13. We will leave Henry in here as Murray has been getting a lot of work here. So 13 is inside run against pass defense. So they again... This is kind of tough. Do you go to the yards to go, like 3 yards to go, which then it would kind of like lead it to blitz instead? But instead, we're just going to go with the regular offensive chart. 34. SB run 0. This is, again, the short yardage. It's Fowler. SB Fowler is not a run 0. So he stumbles ahead for 4 yards. That's going to be a run for Henry. It's going to be 3 yards and a touchdown. Henry, 3-yard run with 4:30 left in the first quarter. And now we look at Suckup. His extra point is AA. It's 14. That's good. And that makes it Tennessee 7 and Chicago 6. Just going to show you here. I have, this is my report sheet. I think I've shown this before in terms of this game. I can post this on the TBL WordPress site if I get some interest in it. It's a pretty nice, concise way to sort of put things together. I fill out most of this stuff after the game, but during the game I do like to try and keep ahead of the scoring summary, which I put here. So I'm going to show you here what I take. The time, so I didn't fill in the first touchdown by Bellamy, so it was at the 9:30 mark of the first quarter, but in terms of the way that I usually like to do it, I like to do it in box score form, which is elapsed time. So 9:30, if you convert it to elapsed time, is 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And team was Chicago, and then I put the box score style verbiage for the most part. Bellamy, 9 pass from Cutler. And then for PAT, I either put failed, or I'll put either kick, or I would put the person if it was a run, or the receiver it's a pass. Maybe put a P next to it. So that is 0-6. And now with this most recent one at 4:30, which is at the 10 minutes and 30 second mark, that's Tennessee. And that was a Derrick Henry. 3-yard run. And then that is kick. And so that's 7-6. I always list it in terms of away then home in this box score. So,
in the interest of time, I'm condensing the game footage to include the important plays. We move ahead into Chicago's next drive. We pick it up with 3:20 left in the first quarter, 2nd and 7 from Chicago's 41.
okay. 56 short against blitz. Okay. Since it's 2nd and 7, we will use the 6 as prescribed there by the green die. So it was a short versus blitz, and we're going to target Jeffrey with this one. Alshon Jeffrey, 26. Tackle A, 0. Pass, no. That's Leno again. Center is Cody White here. He's a 2. So it could have been a sack if either of them were 0, but because they're good pass, or at least average, they do not give up the sack, and it's going to be an excess roll with Jeffrey. And 64 is X greater than 2 for Cutler. He's a 4. Or no, he's a 3X. It is greater than 2. This is going to be a go, so another big game roll here. 43. It's going to be 38 plus. Let's roll white die here. 38 and 3 is 41. Big pass play to Alshon Jeffrey. I wanted to check to see if Thompson had been used yet, and he had not, so... Okay, 2nd and 10. 41 is screen against a running play. Actually, no, because they are a -4 pass, it will be a screen against a pass defense. So we bring that up here. And this time we will screen it to Howard. No, we're going to screen it to Kadeem Carey. Howard is not in the game with the 6. So 14, Cutler is a single A. So it will be complete to Kadeem Carey. And it's a single die roll. It'll be only for 1 yard. So down to 17, 3rd and 9. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Chicago well within Connor Barth's field goal range. 3rd and 9, a 52 is a short pass against a pass defense. So Tennessee expecting pass. They're not going to send anybody on a blitz. They're going to play coverage and see if they can. All right, so with the long yardage formation, they're going to try throwing at Zach Miller here. 51B, 2 pass. Since we are using Kevin Byard in the pass, he is a 1, not a 2. So, but he's not rated 0, so it's going to be a completion for half R. Completion to Miller for half R, which that's going to be 5 yards. So sometimes, in this case, 3rd and 9, a half R is not going to get you anything. There may be cases like a 3rd and 5 if you get a short pass play. If it's like 3rd and 5, you may want to say there, or let's say 3rd and 6. Zach Miller might not be a good choice for your intended receiver because half R would only get you 5 in this case. Now, we don't have any 18. We have Marquess Wilson, but he's not on the field. There are very few. Almost all of the R numbers are 16 and below, and so it's kind of tough to get 9 yards on a half R. So instead, this is going to be down to the 12, and it'll be a 4th and 4 with 1:25. And so this will be our first field goal opportunity. And so I put FGA, field goal attempt, and then this will be Barth. And so the way you do field goals, you take the yardage, you add 7, and then you add another 10 because it's 10 to the back end. So add 17. So it's 29-yarder, well within. This is basically automatic. The trouble here could be if you roll an unusual result. So then you add up to 10, and it's a 16, so that is good. So again, there's the board A. I think I'll put it down here just to kind of show you how it looks right there. In the field goal attempts, you have all the columns listed for the various ratings, and then the results. And as you get higher in the roll, the farther, the shorter the kick is good from. So, like, let's say that was 16. Let's say for some reason you decide to try a 59-yarder, which doesn't make a ton of sense except if it's the end of the half. But say you tried it. In this case, he would miss it. But if it were 15, it would be a 59-yard kick and he would make it. But instead, since this is 29, it's good. So we put the 1:15 for the time. Field goal. And as you can see here in the middle of the screen, actually I will bring it over here and you can see how my sheet looks. 9-7 Chicago. So I keep messing these up. There we go. Let's okay. So it's going to be 1:15 left in the first quarter. And Chicago kickoff. Barth. $52. That's 57. And then add 6 because he's an A. So that is a 63. So that's going to come down and be, well, I guess in theory, I believe that if you allow it to be, if it's inside the 5, you could let it bounce and go into the end zone if you want. But in this case, because I'm interested in having a return, so that goes down to the 2-yard line of Tennessee. It's going to be Mariani. Now, if you look at the chart, it says secondary. It lists primary, secondary. Because I'm playing this project in a way that is, I'm trying to use results from real life and just kind of like pair them up with other teams. I'm just going to go with who returned kicks in real life, and in this case it was Mariani who returned any of the kicks in this game. So Mariani will be the returner. We then roll again. There's a kick return column, and it's 55, which is an unusual result. Now for the unusual results, I go into the book because it's a little easier to follow. So again, anytime they total 10, it's an unusual result. And you go to the kickoff return column 31, 14 yards out of bounds. It's not a very good return. And then there's an arrow or the finger pointing for a penalty. 22 is 2B. Defense flagrant face mask. So the defense would be the kicking team. So this is our first real penalty. Penalty, kicking team, face mask, 15 yards added on to the end of the play. So it goes to the 2, 14 yards out of bounds, makes it the 16, but then you add 15, that brings it up to 31. So Tennessee will get good field position to start their second drive. 1:05 left. First and 10 from their 31 as opposed to the 16. So a big call there on the face mask. We'll switch sheets real quick. Barely even notice. And we'll get this first quarter ended here in a couple plays. 54, short pass against safe defense. Again, Tennessee is 0. If they were something else that would be different is you can see there but it was safe. I don't have to worry about that turning over on me. Okay. Set 2, throw at Kendall Wright, 44. Guard A is 0 pass. Quentin Spain, we're using him in the first quarter. He's not a 0 pass. Chris Brute, complete for half our yards, but then there's also the finger for the penalty. So half R. So Wright does catch it for 7. But before we go anywhere, we're going to roll the penalty to 45. That is an offensive hold. It says it's on the center. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to put penalty, offense, hold, 10 yards. And so we only, if it had been a false start, I wouldn't even run any time off. But because we did get a play in, we're going to put it to 55, 1st and 20 from the 21. So Ben Jones gets a little too much of the jersey, and so a 1st and 20 is going to be an inside run against a pass defense. And it'll be DeMarco Murray, the one doing the carrying here. 23. He is an inside runner of B. So that's an 8-yard gain. If he were A, it'd be an XR, but instead it'll be Murray for 8. So he gets a decent chunk there on 1st down. 20 seconds left. 2nd and 12. I mean, from the 29. Another inside run against a safe defense this time. And we'll run Murray again. .25 is going to be his guard B, a run 0. Nope, Klein isn't center. Ben Jones is not. So XR. It's going to be a potential to extend the run play. 26 E or F. So it's the right side linebackers for the Bears, or either of them run 2. So and this is a safe defense. So it's Bosby's a 0, Trevathan. The note there is only for a pass defense, so he's a 1. So neither of them 2, so it'll be 8 yards again for Murray, and that's a 1st down, and that's going to take us to the end of the quarter. So at this point, I'm going to switch to this just to show you that I usually go end of 1st quarter. Chicago 9, Tennessee 7. And I also bring out this sheet here, and I'll put down, fill in the little box score up the top there. And yeah. Okay, so a lot of my point for doing this is to try and help you guys understand how I do things as much as just how the game is played. So as I've said before, at the end of the quarter, I will tabulate stats. And how do I do that? I use simple graph paper. I find this is probably the most sensible way to do it. Again, you can go to Al Wilson's Drive folder, and he has one there that kind of does a similar thing, except it doesn't really split it into quarters. I kind of like doing this because I can do it on my own. So I use graph paper and a handy dandy ruler, and I make 4 columns like so, as I've done here.
And again, to keep things moving along, we jump ahead to Tennessee driving into the red zone early in the second quarter.
Obviously,
there are 12 minutes on the clock with a 3rd and 11 at the Bear 26.
Bottom half for the home team. And then I make sections for passing. And you try to do a good job. Try to do the best job you can to try and get these things straight. So there's sections for each of those. The passing stats are all going to go in these two, and I could even label that pass, run, and receive. I then take my team sheet for the most part, and so Tennessee, it'll be Murray, Henry, Mariota. It's going to be primarily them to start, and then we've got for receivers, we got Matthews. There's some others we'll get later. For the Bears, it'll be Jordan Howard, Carey potentially, Cutler, and we have room for others if we need to. So that's kind of the way we start, and then we take our sheet here, and I just start going down. So Chicago is first. It's Meredith. He used 7, and I just use a little dot up in the pass column to denote reception, and then an incompletion on the next play is going to be the X. And then Howard with a 10 run, and I just go ahead and write in there the yardages for each of those. Howard an 8 pass, so there's a completion for Cutler. Jeffrey 8, a -1 run for Howard, and then another pass to Howard for 11. Meredith gets his second reception for 7. I like the little line through the 7. And then Miller for 10. Howard a 3rd run for 6, and then Bellamy a 9-yard touchdown pass. So for Bellamy, we will put the 9. I put a square around it for the touchdown. And so you have, let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. So 7 for 8 right there in that first drive for Cutler with a touchdown. Okay, now we're going to go down here to the next drive. We do Murray 3 run, Matthews 7 pass, Murray 6 pass reception. Okay, and we get to the 3-yard touchdown run by Henry. And so we've got through the first half. We flip it over, and we'll just keep on going. We go to Chicago's second drive. Miller gets a 2nd reception. And Bellamy gets a 3-yard outside run, 41 for Jeffrey. And then I go down and I sort of total these guys up. And hopefully I have enough room on the right of each column to do that. So Murray has 6 carries for, that's 24, and 7 is 31. 1 for 3, and a touchdown for Henry. 1 for 2. Okay. 1 for 9. 1 for 1. So let's see, we've got 30, so 40, so 4 and 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so 120 yards. I'll double check that with the calculator just to be sure. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for 13. 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for 13. 1 touchdown pass, no interceptions, no sacks at the moment. And so that's how we do that. Then what I would do is grab my chart here for Tennessee. Tennessee is not going to be at anything, and Murray can run 20 times before he gets adjusted, so that's fine. Henry can run 10. Mariota gets 1. Well, he gets 2 rushes per half. Cutler will only get 1 because that's the way it's 1 per half on a quarterback sweep. And I don't think there's anybody else. Murray can get 4 passes. Nobody else there for them, for that team. Let's go ahead and take a look at Chicago, because this is getting a little more tough. You got Meredith and Jeffrey, who are halfway to their R limit. You have Miller, who's 3/4 of the way there. He's got 3 receptions. Howard has already had 2 R's, and we will continue to use him on screens. Probably switch him up with, on occasion, with some like Zach Miller or Josh Bellamy if they're in the slot. And let's see, Bellamy is at 1. He has a 2 rating. Carey is rarely gets catches, so we allow them. I always allow them 1 before I knock them out, and so he can't get an R catch, which means I pretty much don't target them unless it's maybe a screen pass. So
again, to keep things moving along, we jump to Tennessee driving into the red zone early in the second quarter. There are 12 minutes on the clock with a 3rd and 11 at the Bear 26.
So we go to the 3rd and 11 chart. That's the 3rd from the right in the box. And it's 61. It's going to be a long, no, it's medium pass. My bad. Medium against pass. I'm going to try and pick this up with a chunk yard play. I'm going to throw it at Sharp. Sharp will be targeted here, and it's 26. K or A to pass? A is not. That's Porter. K and pass defense is Akeem Hicks. He is 1. So if it were yes, it'd be a potential interception. Quarterback finds the seam in the zone Q plus. So we look at it's 10. Medium 10 is going to be Murray for the reception. And the Q is 12 plus 1 die. 4, so 12, and that's a 16-yard gain. Passing first down. They come through and get the conversion. That's down to the 10. It's first and goal. First and goal from the 10. So it says medium, but we have to go short because we're from the 10 in, and it's against a safe defense. I'm going to target Matthews here. Wait, let's see. It's 5. Yeah, so we can target Matthews. 31. Tackle B, 0. No. Guard A, 0. Quentin Spain is 1. So it's not a sack. Instead, it's quarterback runs. Go to page 15. So you get another. It's actually page 14, not 15. So this is a case where Mariota does get to go into an outside run again. And it's 11. He's quad A. That's going to be an XR column. Can he break it into the end zone for the touchdown? 45. End A run 0. It's Matthews. He is a run 0. Missed assignment. He's going to get 1 die worth of yardage. 5 yards. On the scramble, 2nd and goal from the 5. Looked like maybe he had a chance to get in, but a saving tackle because of a missed block by Matthews. Second goal from the 5. That's going to be an inside run. It'll be Murray against safe. .42. Yeah, you can't see it there. I wasn't sure you could see it. 42. NB run 2. So this is going to be in 5. It is Fasano, but he's a 1. Not a run 2. Drives through line for 3 tough yards. Bring him down to the 2-yard line, 3rd and goal. 10, 15 left in the second quarter. And it's going to be a short pass against a safe defense. I'm going to call pass. It's the Pete Carroll special. And they are going to target Matthews here. 45. Tackle A is 0 pass. He is not. He's a 1 in opponent territory. No. Complete under pressure, half R. Guess what? So that means Matthews completes the pass, completes the catch, half R. You round up. That makes it 8. And that is, so you can only get 2 pass passing yards there. But that is a touchdown for the Titans. They're going to take the lead at this point, 13-9 with the extra point pending.
Ryan Suckup would convert to make it 14-9 Titans with 10:05 left in the half. The teams would each trade 2 punts after that. Let's see how the half ends with a Titan ball at their own 24, 2:40 left to go.
Okay, so a good punt from O'Donnell has left Tennessee at their own 24-yard line. And so, since we're near the end of the first half, we're in this section of the play chart that you're not going to be able to see right now, unfortunately. Well, actually, you do. You can see it on the very right. It's the special situations, and we're going to use the offensive choice, and we're going to go with the A column for now because it's a little bit outside the 2-minute mark. We may switch to B. So the key is with this thing, you have to stick with the same column. So the defense is going to use the same column as the offense. So because they're using A, the defense is going to select A as well. So 43 is short against pass. So short versus pass, and it will be, they're going to stick with their base set there. So it will be sharp, they're going to target. And a 45 is guard A is 0. He is not, so routine completion for half R. So I said sharp, so it's a pass to sharp. And that'll be for 7 yards. That's half is R. We're going to use the 2-minute offensive timing. I say under 3 minutes, you can kind of go with that. So that's a 25-second for conserve. So that brings us down to 2:15. That's a 2nd and 3 from the 31. And the 56 is going to be medium against blitz. They're going to try to get one in there to Andre Johnson. 33 is NB a 2 pass. So in set 3, it's sharp. He's not a 2 pass. Heavy rush, incomplete. So 205. 3rd and 3 from the 31. They've got to convert this. They're going to stick with the A column. It's going to be long against safe. They're going to try and get a big chunk of this done right now since it's so close to the end of the half. They aren't going to try and get that 3rd down. And so they're going to use that base 4 set. They're going to throw it sharp. It's going to be an unusual result. 15, 31 yards. It is complete, but they're going to need to check the replay. So it's going to be completed to sharp for 31 yards, and it's going to be V4. So you go back to the 81 page, and V4, it's off the sideline. They're going to check to see if he gets his toes down. 53, so it is just at the edge of where it is confirmed to be a completed pass. And that's going to have us hit the 2-minute warning. $155 as we do run 10 seconds off on that play. But that's a 31-yard gain for the Tennessee Titans, and it's going to be 1st and 10, and they're going to be down in field goal range already. So 31, 41, 49, 39, 38. Not quite field goal range, but pretty close. I mean, you might try one if you had no time, hardly any time left from there. Wing the prayer kind of type of thing. But let's see how they do this. They're going to stick with chart A since they've got this yardage. So it's going to be medium against a pass. It's a little risky sometimes. You could get a sack. You could get an interception here. They are going to go with their longer yardage set. They're going to try to hit Kendall right here. Unusual result. Getting a lot of those this quarter. 33 incomplete with a penalty. Let's go ahead and take a look at the penalty. 55 is a hold on the offense. And there's also an injury, potentially 65. J on the pass play would be Pernell McPhee. Check his rating. Chicago. Yeah, he could get injured long term. Let's roll it again here. 61 out plus how many games? 2 games. So we are going to do that. Give me a second here. Okay, and voila. You can look at the Chicago defensive chart, and I've made the change. So we're going to give Bullard more pass responsibilities, and we're going to give Sutton the safe responsibilities to try and make this up. So I haven't changed the chart here. We did have a play go on, so it's 145 less, 1st and 20 from the 48. So that's going to mean that they're going to have to press a little more here. So it's going to be a screen pass against safe defense. Okay, they're going to throw a screen pass to Kendall right here. 36. Guard A 0. It's Quentin's. Wait, it's actually. I need to update that guy too. Hold on a second. Okay, so I hope I didn't have any run checks with Spain. I don't think I did, but I also needed. I changed it on the sheet that you can see. I'm going to change it on my sheet right here. Spain is out for the rest of the game, and I just. It's the thing that when you use a paint program, you can undo with your marking pen. You can't. But so in this case, Schwenke is still a 1. So we had 36. Guard A is 0. He's not 0. So it's going to be completed over a heavy pass rush for 1 die yard. It's going to be 6. So pass to right. And they're going to use their second timeout. 1:35, 2nd and 14 from the 42. We're going to save that final one in case they need to stop the clock late. So it's going to be 2nd and 14. 56 is medium against safe. Okay, you're going to target sharp here. 66. They're not the home team, so it's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 14, 1:25 left. We're going to use the 14 chart. It's going to be short against pass. Maybe a little better chance of getting a completion, but it might not. They might not get the first down here. So they're going to target sharp again. 22. Is D or H, a 2 pass. So it's going to be Crevon LeBlanc. He's not. H. Leonard Floyd is, let's see. Pass defense. Leonard Floyd is a 2. So yes, possible interception. And it's 15. And Mariota is a 2. So that is an interception. That is heartbreaking for the Titans. They were thinking they could go down and maybe extend their lead. we can use that one there, 9. So for the interception chart, oh wait, no, we don't use that. We go to 15, and it's a short pass. It's going to be a 7-yard play, and who is it? It's going to be either A or C. It says yes, so it's going to be A. So it'll be Tracy Porter who picks up the interception. And now we go to the other side of the chart, interception return, and he is a defensive back. So we roll, and it's going to be 45. It's going to be 17 yards plus a die, and 6. So it's going to be 23-yard return by Porter. And so Chicago's going to have a chance here. They might have a chance to get back into this game. I mean, they're already in the game, but I mean, they're going to have a chance to possibly cap it off here at the end. So 1:15, 1st and 10. So from the 42 of Chicago, 7 puts it down to the 35. Then a 23-yard return. So 45, 45, and 3, 42. Okay, so this has some drama here going on. And Chicago still has the timeouts. They're going to go with chart A as well because they're down there, but it's going to be short versus safe. So big play for Chicago there. Getting that interception, taking one off Mariota. And now they're going to see if they're going to throw to Zach Miller here. 54H, a 0 pass. Safe defense is Morgan. He's not a 0 pass. Receiver covered. This could be an interception as well. Go to the Y chart. Cutler is Y equals 4. At 64, it'll be incomplete. Too high of a number for him. 2nd and 10 from the 42. 105. And they've got plenty of timeouts. They can just, if they get a completion here out of one of these, they can hit the timeout, and they don't need to worry about spiking or anything. Medium against run. How about that? That's going to be helpful. Can they make the play? Pass to Jeffrey. 21. He is not good enough. He's going to be an A completion, which makes it incomplete. 3rd and 10. Can they get a completion here? 44 short against pass. They're trying to get any yardage, maybe just to try and squeak out a field goal. They're going to target Meredith again. 26. NB a 2 pass. Jeffrey is not. Guard A a 2 pass. No. Complete for 2. You got to roll 2 D6s. It is complete. It is complete to Meredith. 6 yards. And they are going to consume this and take their timeout. So it's going to go down to the 36. 4th and 4. It's going to take 40 seconds off. It's going to bring it down to the 15. They're going to take Chicago, timeout 1. So with 15 seconds left, they're going to try and kick a field goal. Field goal attempt from the 36. You add 17. So add 7 to 36 is 43. So it's a 53-yard attempt for Barth. Not very likely. And I'll tell you what the chart gives us for this. So he is normally a double-A field goal specialist until he hits a 50-yard field goal or more. Then it becomes an A. So for an A, he needs 20. No. He's going to need 23 or better to make this. So if he rolls a 23 or better, it's good. 23 or less. If it's 24 or up, it's no good. and he misses horribly. Hooks wide, so Tennessee, with their 6th possession, with 10 seconds left, 1st and 10 from their own 43. It's going to be a run. Mariota, just a kneel down, -1. It's going to be the end of the first half. Tennessee 14, Chicago 9. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the compilation of the stats for the second quarter, and we will come back and I'll give you the third and fourth quarter in one longer video. This one was a little bit of a longer video too. Again, I'm going to try and not be as descriptive unless there are plays that come up that are different. We've hit a lot of the plays. We've hit an interception. We've hit a sack. We've hit a fumble. Hit some rare plays. So injuries and how I deal with them, I mean, I think you deal with them and you just find ways to use other players to fill in. So if you like this video, if you're thinking about, well, first off, if you're thinking about purchasing this game, go to play.com. So it's http://www.plaay.com. Play.com. Look for second season. Actually, you might want to look for the shop link. I think that's where it's at, is under shop. And yeah, just go in there, look at second season. You can buy the game. You can buy season sets. Have at it. It's a fun game. A lot of people can tend to say it does take a while. It's not baseball. Baseball is a fast game. It's easy to play a 9-inning game on your tabletop in under an hour. With football, it's going to take you 2 or 3 hours. Another thing to mention, if you want to save a little bit of time, Al Wilson has developed fast action cards for this game that doesn't use the play calling setup that I have here that I'm showing you on the screen, but it does have one. It may even be the stock play calling set that comes with the game. And in the next video, I'm going to show you some other things that you get when you get the game. But anyway, with the fast action cards, I do know that guys have gotten the game playing times down quite a bit because you're just getting the rolls out right away. But for this, you know, the way I see it is, I don't want to feel like I've got to rush around and get a game done real quick. I don't mind. Football games, there are fewer in a season, so to be able to play basically the same number of sporting event for a football game, you don't need to play nearly as much. So if it takes a little longer, not a big deal for me. So I'll tabulate the stats, and we'll be back with more. So hit like if you like this. If you want to see more second season, if you have any questions about why certain things happen certain ways, be more than happy to answer them in the comments or answer them to start the next video. So thanks a lot, everybody. See you soon with some more tabletop action here on Tabletop Baseball Plus.